How you doing there, little buddy? Shadow and I have returned once again to the San Rafael Swell. We were camping last night under these crystal clear blue skies, and we did astrophotography. And today we're rockhounding, and we're rockhounding off of Last Chance Road. And I have to warn you, finding agate here can be rather difficult, or I should rephrase that. Finding agate that you want to keep can be very difficult because there's so much agate out here, it's crazy. And we're going to start finding it left and right, but I wanted to start this video with this view. Absolutely spectacular. This was once an ancient seabed, thrust up thousands of feet by tectonic forces. Layers of sandstone, limestone, mudstone, shale, and all forms of sedimentary rock, and then followed by volcanic activity. And that black rock right there, that's a big chunk of volcanic rock right there. Well, following volcanic activity came geothermal activity, and that water making its way, seeping and bringing with it silica, layered in silica. And over time, as silica was layered and under heat and pressure, it hardened to form agate. And we are going to start finding a lot of agate, because I think the best stuff's going to be up here, because I'm following Bert and Belinda and they know what they're doing. But you can already see just agate, agate, agate. That's all agate. I mean, it's like gravel. And it's really beautiful agate too. A lot of different colors of agate. So I'll be picking up a lot of agate and showing you, close up. But this whole hill is agate. I don't think I've ever seen such an abundance of agate. I mean, I've been to places with a lot of agate, but this is crazy. So what are you working on over here?
A chonker. Help me, Cooper. Dig it out of there. I got your toes smashed, dummy.
Oh my gosh.
This is kind of some of the darker stuff.
Look at that.
Well, and the seam keeps going back.
Right
this
there,
is
you can
part of
see
it
it.
out here.
I'm going to see if I can chip myself out.
Yeah.
Maybe that piece right there.
You've knocked yourself out.
Let's see. I'm going to put everything down.
If you don't have
Turn the
luck
camera
there.
off for a minute and let's see what I can do. Okay. I've dug off the top, and it seems like there's a piece right here that's kind of like waiting to be broken off. So I'm going to chisel right there. There's my chisel hammer. To me, it looks like it wants to break off right there. Yeah, I think it's going to. Right there. Okay. Let's just leave it right there. Oh my, that is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Let me take the camera, make sure it's capturing it. Look at that. Look at that agate. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And then, it's heavy.
That is a beauty. Yeah, we got the bank to it over there.
You sure do.
I think that's the other side to
I
it.
do. I think so. Yeah. I almost wonder if we're in a cauldron. See, it's crazy. And that's all, you know, the red there, that's all sandstone, or sand. And then we have these big pieces of lava rock right here. Slippery a little bit. Look at that beautiful one right there. I'm going to take that one. This is the first agate that I'm picking up. Because I've learned my lesson too many times, and yet I do it over and over again. I start filling my bucket on the way up, and then it's so full and gets so heavy. But some of this stuff, you know, it's just so beautiful. So beautiful. I'll clean that up. Looks like it even has green in it. This will tumble up spectacularly. All right, we're gonna just mosey our way on up. I may pick up one or two, not a lot, because all of this is agate. And I can pick it all up on the way down. All of this is agate. Look at this. This is all agate. All of this is agate. Well, except for like that big rock right there, but all this smaller stuff. It's not easy to climb up either. It's a hill of agate. I'm going to pick up some smaller sized ones for tumbling. And I really like the color that I'm seeing in these. There's greens and reds, grays, clears, blacks. It's the green that is so interesting to me. Usually green, I shouldn't say usually, but often green, when it's with volcanic rock, is olivine. Olivine is often associated with volcanic activity. And when you find green jasper, it's often olivine. I'm going to try and pick up some more with the green in it. Right, Shadow. Tumbling sized. Picking up tumbling sized. Green in there. And some of these are quite large. Okay, up we go If you're new to rock hounding, I just want to say, please don't be discouraged when you go out rock hounding and you look and look and look and don't find much of anything. I've done that so many times. That's all part of rock hounding. Not every location is like this, where you're just like, it's like the gravel under your feet. There's so much agate. This is very, very unique and very, very remote. So I don't want you to be discouraged if you go out and you don't find things sometimes. I do that all the time. And because I do that all the time, sometimes I find places that nobody's really ever written about or mentioned. Maybe I'm the first to find them, I don't know. But I certainly have found places that I'd never heard of before that have great, you know, agates or jaspers or different forms of chalcedony. And then sometimes it's just a strikeout, but it's all fun. It's just fun to get out, you know. But I just don't want you to think that, you know, if you rock hounding, if you're not finding an abundance every time you go out, then, you know, maybe there's something wrong with you. Nope, not at all. That's just rock hounding. Okay, so Belinda said that there's some big giant boulders of agate rolling down from up here. So I'm going to put the camera away for a minute and do some heavy hiking. Right up. So cool. So cool. Well then, here's another big piece. So must be another vein right up here. Right there. There's that vein. I'm going to try and chip off that piece right there. Now, you know, the thing is, though, I can pick it off the surface about that size. So I think I won't after all. Some more of the green showing up now. Some more, another vein popping out. This is really a big vein of it right here. It's so quiet. So quiet. I'm going to try to walk around and get on the very top of that. Okay, we've been making our way up this. We're almost to the top. Shadows at the top, it looks like. And I want to know, how in the world did that thing end up here? I'm not seeing any signs of vegetation. Oh, maybe there's a little right there. But I mean, there's some trees over there that had to have grown up here and then died. Nobody would have trust me, no one's going to drag that up here. This stuff, it, like, you know, for every one step forward, you take a half step back because it's so loose. It's very hard to hike up. I even left my bag. I'm going to pick up my bag on the way back because it's just too hard. All right, we're at the top. Sure enough, look, there are little trees. All right, they're on that side. Okay, let's just enjoy the beautiful views. Incredible. Incredible. Let's walk over there. Okay, question number 1. What am I standing on? I'm going to take a piece and I'm going to test it. And we'll figure it out. So, just take a piece. Right like that. This, to me, now looks just, when I'm up close looking at this, it looks to me to be sedimentary. And if that's the case, let's take a piece of the lighter colored. Small one, like that right there. Or even better yet, this that looks, a lot like what all this is. I am about to change my whole theory. Yes, there's volcanic activity around here. Yes, there's volcanic rock. But is this ash and tuff, or is this sedimentary rock, maybe a limestone, and it's eroding and giving us this? Is it both? Do we have both things going on here? Guess what I have in my truck? Hydrochloric acid, just in case I have to dissolve a body. I have hydrochloric acid. We can test this right here and figure out if we're dealing with a calcium carbonate type rock, like limestone. Well, doggone it, I did it again. I filled the bucket before I got down to the bottom. There's still tons and tons and tons of agate I could pick up. I could have waited, and I couldn't resist. It's heavy. I'll show you. There, you heard it. It's a big bag. All right, we just got to make it to the car. So bear with me. And then we're going to figure out what this stuff is made in. Okay, look, this is volcanic rock. Would you not agree? That is a piece of lava rock, without a doubt. And here's a big, beautiful agate. And does that not look like it was formed in volcanic rock? Right? Another piece of volcanic rock. And more agate. That looks like it was formed in volcanic rock. That's a beautiful piece right there. All right. So then we find this white stuff that I thought was ash and tuff. But then when I get on the top there, it doesn't really look like basalt as much as it looks like a limestone. And so this is where, I'm just so confused. How is this stuff made? Well, hey, it's beautiful. I just made my bag heavier. It's beautiful. That much we know. It's beautiful. Okay, we made it down the hill to back to the hole, and Bert has been working this whole time, and look what he's dislodged. Holy cow.
I believe this is what they call a chonker.
A chonker.
More than a
Oh,
chonker.
careful there, Cooper. You want the water? Here.
Oh, look at that. Oh my heck.
Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna have to roll that down the
Well,
hill.
it's got another quartz pocket in there. That bentonite does not come off.
No, it's
There.
rough.
There's, yeah.
All right, so you just said a word, bentonite.
Bentonite, clay.
That's clay.
Yes.
Okay, so is it formed in clay?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or is it ash?
No, I think it is clay. It's bentonite.
I think it is too.
It's that slimy
Yeah,
stuff that you don't
it's
want.
so sticky. My son-in-law took his truck in to be serviced after they'd been down here and had bentonite underneath it. That service guy says, "Where in the hell did you go to get that concrete on the bottom of your vehicle? Because it packs in there and it's like cement."
Wow.
They had to use an impact chisel to get the clods off his oil pan to get his plug out. Oh, and the thing is, if you get some buildup in your tire, and you get out on the highway, you got to get underneath and clean out the bentonite.
Yeah, because it's like those weights that they put on your tires, only it's all over and you can't.
No, I've driven through
There's some pretty
wet
slippery.
clay before. It's dangerously slippery and sticks to your tires and gums them all up and everything. I know what you're talking about. Wow, wow, wow.
That's a slab right there.
That's a slab. There's chisel there.
Okay, I'll do some work.
Welcome to the laboratory. A kitchen is a laboratory. All kinds of chemical reactions take place in a kitchen. We're going to use it not for cooking, but for testing rocks and explaining what we discovered and learned, and I think we solved the mystery. If you recall the mystery, the question was, because I think I solved it, how was this agate formed? Maybe even when was it formed? But what was it formed in? You'll recall as I started off rockhounding and we found this big, huge vein in what I thought looked a lot like volcanic ash. And then we made our way to the top, and at the tip top of the mountain I picked up this piece of rock, which I will show you under the electronic microscope. I'll put a drop of hydrochloric acid on it, and you'll see it sizzle and fizzle like crazy because it is a limestone, a calcium carbonate-based rock. And this is where it's confusing because the most recent activity, after all these layers were formed and lifted up thousands of feet, was volcanic activity. And that came from the Fish Lake or Marysville volcano. That was about 20 to 30 million years ago. And you saw the big, dark volcanic rock on top of things? So this is where I was confused. How could this agate be being formed in volcanic ash when the volcanic ash is underneath other sedimentary layers, including this limestone? And yet the most recent activity was volcanic activity. You would think then the ash would be the top layer. Well, it turns out I was right. And I'm really proud of myself. But it took me a little bit to figure it out. When we went back down the mountain, you'll recall that Bert talked about this seam, this vein was in bentonite. Well, what is bentonite? So this comes from the National Park Service talking about the bentonite hills. The bentonite hills appear as softly contoured banded hills in various hues of brown, red, purple, gray, and green. The layer was formed when mud, silt, fine sand, and volcanic ash were deposited in swamps and lakes. Bentonite clay altered volcanic ash absorbs water and becomes very slick and gummy when wet, making vehicle or foot travel difficult or impossible. Remember Bert was talking about how that bentonite clay gummed up his son-in-law's truck underneath like concrete? He's 100% right. This was formed in bentonite. And I'm 100% right. The primary ingredient in bentonite is volcanic ash. So, the thing is, the volcanic ash that formed that layer, and this book here will tell us about that. I bought this book at the museum that Belinda is the curator of. Geology, Soils, and Plant Communities of the Colorado Plateau. Okay? And it talks about all of these layers, each layer, and when they were formed, going clear back to the Paleozoic era of 525 million years ago. And each era has subset periods. You heard me read about bentonite and the volcanic ash. So that goes back about 200 million years ago. So when these sedimentary layers were being deposited, there was volcanic activity, and it layered a ton of volcanic ash, which became the bentonite layer. So this was formed in volcanic ash, mixed in with some silts and other things to make it into a clay. And that's why there were subsequent layers of sedimentary rock, including this limestone at the top. And yet at the very top of things, we were finding those big, dark, black volcanic rocks, because that came from the Fish Lake or Marysville volcano. That was the most recent volcanic activity of only about 20 to 30 million years ago. So it's not related to this era of volcanic ash where this agate was formed. It's the most recent volcanic activity, and it littered the whole area with the volcanic rock. So my confusion was simply that there was more than one period of volcanic activity. This rock is indeed formed in volcanic ash, bentonite. And there you have it. Shadow and I had a great time. We always enjoy you coming along with us, and we hope you join us on future adventures of Shadow.